Certainly what Chase was able to do and attempt to win his first race there. I think you saw by the fans how much he has a fan base and how much everyone wants to see him win. So, Denny, I think, did in his mind what he needed to do and probably went too far. We did not make a call there. I mean, that race stands. We're not in the business of calling an in-race penalty post-race, and that was good, hard racing for the most part all day at Martinsville, and I think Denny might have crossed the line as he put out there on Twitter. And I thought Chase handled himself very well post-race. Showed some passion. That's what the sport's all about. He's got a long career ahead of him, and I think he'll be up front leading many times.
Boyer saying, I wish the remainder of the races this year were short tracks. The sport needs more short tracks. Only thing with an aero issue was the flag.
This from Jeff Gordon in response to Hamlin's post-race quote. Translation, I wrecked him.
He didn't need all the characters for that. Ray Evernham taking a guy out, getting in the corner is a cheap shot. I don't care what y'all say.
From DW, sure glad we don't have too many short tracks. That kind of competition and action is more than I can take over a couple of times a year.
DW, spell check.
And people said Talladega Superspeedway didn't belong in the playoff. I don't think it's the track. I think it might be the prize.
Michael Waltrip, spell check.
Yeah.
From Regan Smith, I'm mad for Chase Elliott and what happened, but in the end, Denny Hamlin went for the win and the title, and you can't be mad about that.
All right, we'll open up to questions. We'll start up front with Claire and then go to Bob and Lee.
Claire B. Lang, SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. After last week, I know that Denny reached out to you or said he had reached out that direction. What are your thoughts looking back on that? And then what are your thoughts about seeing your face as big as a billboard as the People's Champion when you arrive here in Texas?
Yeah, definitely kind of strange. But, as far as last week goes, I don't know that my thoughts are a whole lot different today than they were then. I'm still pretty frustrated about it, and really as the week has gone along, it's given me a lot of time to think about how close we were to going to Homestead, and I think if anything else, that'll drive you up the wall more as you think about it. So definitely not happy about it, and I don't think a whole lot's changed. But no, I'm not going to answer y'all's questions whether I'm going to get him back or not. So don't even ask, because you're not going to hear it from me. So. Just don't go there. So, but yeah, I don't think my mindset changed a whole lot from that standpoint. But this is a point in this round where we're going to have to perform these next 2 weeks to have a chance at Homestead now, and we'll just have to do just that.
This is a lot of stress on this young man not to have a lot of time to think about what he's going to have to do. Under 4 minutes right now. You see he's strapping the helmet on. The team's going to get the car, make final preparations. Important that the team doesn't overlook something. Very easy to forget something at this point. Make sure you get your tire pressure set correctly. So he needs to get out there and get a lap in. He should be able to make the top 24, but this is cutting it awful close.
Well, and also the spotter right now, he's got to start, with limited time, he's going to have to find a hole for Chase Elliott to get this car into. So this is a stressful situation for all involved.
I tell you, the direction they're pushing.
Yeah, they're going the wrong way.
Yeah. They took a left, and I thought that was a good sign for the 24, but I could tell as now Chase Elliott takes his helmet off. I think that's confirmation, Kelly, that this 24 car is not going to go on the racetrack.
You got 2 or 3 cars that are so much better than everyone else on the mile and a half that this is your race to get it done.
Ben Fender's hurt feelings. I love it.
You know what they call racing? This bull.
Keselowski all the way to the wall.
Gonna run you up.
The bumper to the back of the 24.
Oh, I just wrecked it. Bag.
You see the 24 showing his displeasure and how he was raced.
Everybody was doing the exact same thing. Definitely 100% unnecessary and uncalled for. Thank you, John. Well, lots of attention circling Chase Elliott since last Sunday, really. But I'm curious, what did you kind of learn from that whole experience at Martinsville as a young driver?
Well, you learn how to, deal with the frustration of something like that. As the week goes along, and even as Sunday night went along, you just realize how close we were to, locking ourselves into Homestead and having a shot to race for a championship right there in the first race of this round. So that's a huge opportunity, and that's such an important race. And the wild thing was, if you had told me that we were going to have the opportunity at Martinsville last year or the year before, I told you you're crazy. So to come from where we have, from running so bad there in the past, to having an opportunity to win a race there was very encouraging, but also very disappointing to know that you were so close to having a huge opportunity.
You come here to Texas, you aren't able to qualify, but you didn't seem too concerned about it. How do you play such a big role in keeping your team motivated, spirits high, and not letting something like that derail your race weekend?
Well, for us, we're in a pretty bad spot with points now, so stage points are important for everybody. We'd love to have them. Anything can happen. You could potentially still points your way through. Qualifying well is a big piece of running well on that first stage, but realistically, we're going to have a win to advance, for Homestead. So it's not the end of the world. I think if our car is driving good, we can make our way from the back to the front. There's plenty of time. Jimmy did it here in the spring, and I think that if we did our part yesterday, I don't see why not. So it's not the end of the world. Like I said, these races are long enough where you can do something like that and it not be a huge issue.
Thanks for your time. Best of luck to you. Chase Elliott has an Xfinity Series win here, looking for a Cup 1 as well.
When you're ready, radio check. Yeah, that sounds good.
A great community effort to get the engines fired a week ago. Tempers right on the edge. Hamlin and Elliott fighting for a win at Martinsville. Both left dejected. Chase Elliott still looking for his first win. The drama continues here in Texas.
This morning we woke up, it was close to 60 degrees. It's dropped down steadily. It's now 44 degrees.
And I'll tell you what, the temperature on the racetrack's about to get red hot.
No, Elliott spins, and he slams the outside retaining wall.
Tempers are flaring. Kyle comes across the line. He wins today, and he's going to Miami.
A playoff race at Texas is
Holy smoke! Woo!
bit of a wild card.
And the other thing, let's watch Chase Elliott. How does he perform here this afternoon? Big disappointment last week. Disappointment he didn't get to qualify starting way back, so we'll follow his progress.
He'll start 34th. Now, if Kevin Harvick places in the top 10 today, then you get a free Bloomin' Onion with purchase on Bloomin' Monday.
Hey, Rick, Denny Hamlin comfortably out front. He's led 22 laps today, as you can see on the top of your screen. Obviously, all week long, everyone talked about Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin. Denny told me riding around on the track before the race that he did reach out to Chase Elliott this week. That call was not returned, so clearly there's still some hurt feelings there. I did ask Denny, does it bother you? You were booed in your home state at Martinsville last week. You were booed when you were introduced today here at the Texas Motor Speedway. He said, absolutely not. He said, to be honest with you, I used to be jealous of guys who would get booed because I knew that people were paying attention to them. To me, when people just applaud when you were introduced, you're just another guy. You're nothing special. So, Jeff, what is it like for a driver? I don't know if you've ever been booed like that, but to be booed as a driver, what are the emotions you go through? And Denny seemed to kind of like it, actually.
Oh, I think we've all been booed, Marty. It's just, it's part of the deal when you race and you get into an altercation with another driver. That other driver has fans, and they're going to boo you. So that's just part of the deal. I don't think I think deep down Denny Hamlin's not that kind of guy. I think Denny Hamlin wants to be liked. I don't think he wants to be the villain. So for me, this race is so important for Denny to put that behind him and to move forward.
Well, how about the other driver in that issue? The 24 car of Chase Elliott, this 21-year-old, obviously was the guy that was being cheered at Martinsville after Denny Hamlin got into his rear bumper. But Friday, the car looked pretty good in practice. They couldn't get through inspection. They didn't get a chance to qualify. Started 34th, and we haven't updated much because we had so much excitement at the start of the race, but he's currently up in the 15th position. So We saw this out of Ryan Blaney back at Kansas, DJ. We were very vocal how he had to be patient if he was thinking he was going to get into the top 10. Well, with still 60 laps to go in stage 1, I think this 24 car is looking really good to perhaps get all the way up and score some of those very valuable stage points.
And Steve, the guy that the 24 driver is, Chase Elliott, his crew chief already believes is the one that Jeff Burton believes that Denny Hamlin is. Does that make sense? When I talked to Alan Gustafson about it today, he said Martinsville was just normal stuff. They were just racing. And even though it was a sensational finish, Chase stood up for himself, and he needed to do that. He is a good and fair person, and people know that who watch this sport. He didn't win, but people recognize his integrity.
The 4-car working around slower traffic where Larson did not have any slower traffic to deal with.
And you can see even Martin Truex there has caught up to Kevin Harvick. He was quite a ways back, so pitting a little bit early helped him. Dave?
Knifing his way through traffic, Chase Elliott now gets 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel and a chassis adjustment for his race car, and he is gone.
Under 13 seconds, that stopped for Chase Elliott and the 24 team. And now as these green flag pit stops cycle through, only Michael McDowell and...
Well, these restarts are going to be interesting. That's going to continue. And then when you put Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott together, after what happened last week, things always seem to get a little more intense. So you see the 24 car way loose, trying to stay on the bottom of the racetrack, but Denny Hamlin just stuck his nose in there and took that spot.
Well, and Denny Hamlin told Marty Snyder riding around pre-race that he's going to race Chase Elliott like everyone else on the racetrack. He didn't love what happened last week, but he can't go back and he can't change it, and he's going to race him the same as every other driver.
And that's all you can do, really. I mean, if you know the guy's really mad at you and he's clearly faster than you, yeah, maybe let him go. But other than that, you just got to race as hard as you can race.
Again, we talk about what happened last week between Hamlin and Elliott. Chase Elliott in the 24 leading the race at Martinsville. And Denny Hamlin gets into the back of him, lifts the back end up off the ground. They have words after the race. Chase Elliott spoke out, and the crowd actually responded. The fans in Virginia booed a Virginia native in Denny Hamlin. Marty.
Yeah, Rick, I asked Denny about that. He said, why would I change my driving style? I'm going to race for my team. I have 2 shots left to get us to Miami to race for a championship. That's all I can worry about.
Marty, just reviewing the day so far for Chase Elliott. Started way back in the field because his car didn't pass pre-qualifying inspection, never got to take a lap, so had to start near the rear of the field, then working his way up. And that green flag stop where they made a significant adjustment on his 24, that is what has made the 24 a winnable race car today. He said that helped a lot. Let's keep going that direction.
And you really have to keep your eye on these two, because you know what happened a week ago between Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. Now with Elliott behind the 11 of Denny Hamlin, how aggressive will it be trying to get by him?
Well, he's going to do everything he possibly can, and he can make Denny Hamlin's life miserable by never even touching him. Just by the fact that Denny knows that he's back there. As a driver, you're just instinctively going to look in that mirror a little bit more because you know he is there. And Chase could get him up the racetrack by never even touching the back end of that car. But you never know. He might be thinking, if I can get to that back bumper, it won't be a crash. I might just let him know that I'm here, though.
Right.
Just the subtle things.
Outside of that top 5, and 8th is Denny Hamlin, chasing after Martin Truex Jr. Denny Hamlin riding around the track with the 24 of Chase Elliott right behind him. It's got to be on the back of his mind, what would Chase Elliott do if he does get to my bumper?
The nose of that 24, Marty, and that is young Chase Elliott. And Alan Gustafson's glad he has a young, fit driver behind the wheel. He said to run fast, you'll be working your butt off all day here. The guys who ran up front in April, they were on a Sunday cruise. They were working hard, Kelly.
Darian Grubb was announced this week. He's going to crew chief for the 24 next year, which will be William Byron. Don't get caught up with the card numbers. There's a big swap of card numbers happening at Hendrick Motorsports. So William Byron will drive the 24 with Darian Grubb on top of the pit box, and that was Darian making that strategy call for KT Kane.
Last week, when the 24 and the 11 were together, there was definitely hammers used as far as the body damage that was done between the two. And once again, we saw this earlier in the race. The 24 of Chase Elliott is now behind the 11 of Denny Hamlin. And how much will that make Denny Hamlin look in the mirror after what happened last week at Martinsville?
Well, I think certainly you can't ignore it, can you, DJ? You know that you wrecked somebody the week before, and you know he's mad. I don't think you can just say, you know what, I don't care. You know who that is behind you, and the best thing you can do is just stay away from him, and that's by driving away from him.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Denny's got a good car, but sometimes as a driver, you just can't help but look in the mirror. You've got a spotter that's telling you how clear you are and how much time might be, but you're looking to see, is he gaining on me somewhere? And every time you look, you could be costing yourself just a little bit of time right there and just that little bit of doubt in your mind as to what could possibly happen.
Let's check in with the new Papa Mike Wheeler, his wife Amy, giving birth to their second son on Wednesday. So it'd be a good way to wrap up the weekend, wouldn't it, with a win here at Texas?
Yeah, it's been an emotional week so far. Obviously last week with Martinsville, the way it ended, and then obviously having another son this week with my wife Amy. It's been a big week, so obviously getting a win here would be a big deal.
So with about 38 laps to go, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for the 24 of Chase Elliott. He's got a few positions to make up now. Jeff mentioned that good restart, and Dad would have been proud of that. Bill Elliott looking on, the Hall of Famer. Of course, Cindy and Bill have been with Chase his entire career, watching him come up and through. And today, Dad in the pits cheering him on.
Hey, Dave, and one thing I find really interesting about Bill Elliott, a legend in our sport, no radio. Just earplugs. You think about dads that are always in it, but Chase is his own man, and Bill's not even communicating, not listening, just earplugs in. That's pretty fascinating.
8 drivers fought hard to get here.
The bumper to the back of the 24!
Oh, he just wrecked us.
And things got wild before coming west.
Face to face, guys, outside the car.
Now, only winners make it to the championship.
It's a drag race! Kyle Busch will win! Kevin Harvick gets one at Texas Motor Speedway.
Who's getting a shot at the trophy? Watch and find out. The 2017 NASCAR Playoffs.
On this season, Chase Elliott says he sees a lot of missed opportunities he doesn't want to miss out on moving forward. Well, if he's going to have the opportunity to race for a championship next week, he must first get to victory lane today. Chase Elliott, in a must-win situation, starts this one fourth, Parker.
It just doesn't get any better than what we have set up. We've got the biggest names in our sport advancing to South Florida.
Kyle comes across the line. He wins today, and he's going to Miami.
Martin Truex Jr. once again the cream of the crop.
Hello, Homestead. This is Kevin Harvick making a reservation for the championship 4. So the bottom line at Phoenix, 1 spot, 5 drivers.
For some drivers, they see their season flash before their eyes.
The reality is there's a tremendous amount of pressure.
We just want to be in the hunt, and that's what we're in.
That's what we all come to do. It's why we compete, to win.
When you are able to achieve success in those moments, it just runs chills down your body.
That's what makes it so compelling to watch, to see the unthinkable being done.
This first stage is relatively short. I mean, it's only 75 laps, and right now there's only 65 to go before the end of this stage. So it is a sense of urgency for sure as you see a battle for the lead.
Very urgent now as we see Chase Elliott dive down below that yellow line through the dogleg, and he'll take the lead away.
And when we talk about the playoff leaderboard and the 5 drivers fighting for that 1 spot, Chase's name is on that list. But mathematically, it may not be a must-win, but realistically, they have to think of this as a must-win. So while winning a stage would be great for the points, it's more about the momentum, how good their car can be, because they truly need to win the race.
And he's done what he needs to do to get out front. Chase Elliott, new leader at Phoenix. Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, and Kevin Harvick, the top 5. Kelly.
Well, Rick, I can tell you that Alan Gustafson, crew chief on that 24, certainly views this as a must-win situation, which he said can actually have some benefit to it because they don't have to be indecisive with the decisions that they make. He also told me car's not as good as we'd like, but I think if we can get to the front, we can stay there, Marty.
Battle for the lead, though, Rick, on the left-hand side.
Denny Hamlin looks to the inside once again. Gets to the driver's side door. We'll see if he can complete the pass now.
Well, let's not forget the history of these two from just a few weeks ago at Martinsville, where Denny Hamlin made contact with the 24, wrecking him into turn 3 in the closing laps. Here they are battling a couple weeks later.
Denny Hamlin might use this lap car as a pick. He does take the lead, but the crossover move by Chase Elliott, can he take it back? He does. He moves in front of the 11 of Hamlin.
an interesting dynamic here because Chase Elliott is racing like he has nothing to lose because in his mind it's a must-win. Where the 11 at Denny Hamlin, I think, believes he can get in on points, so he has everything to lose.
Hamlin goes by him on the outside. Can he keep the pass this time?
Yeah,
the momentum on the high side gets him in front.
Denny's just faster right now. Denny's faster than Chase Elliott. So, you know, when you have a fast race car on lap 27, you're not looking for a fight. You're not looking to cause trouble. And I think that that's what we saw with Denny Hamlin. There was a time there he could have made it 3 wide, and he didn't. He just took his time, ended up passing Chase Elliott, you know, just worked the outside. So I think that was smart racing by Denny. You know, it's no sense in pushing the issue with somebody that you know is already mad at you.
I mentioned the history of these two after Martinsville. Well, it looks right here, a little shot down the straightaway. Denny Hamlin, I think, letting him know, hey, man, I was out there, you slid up. And then once again, not a hard shot, didn't want to lift off the throttle, trying to keep his momentum. But then right here, Chase Elliott, the 11 clears him, and Chase kind of pushes him. It doesn't take much on corner entry. A little contact and up the banking, the 11 win.
You mentioned the history at Martinsville. Chase Elliott looking for his first ever win in the Monster Energy Cup Series. Hamlin puts the bumper to the back of him. It wrecks him. They have a discussion afterwards. Neither happy with how it ended. For the first pit stop of the day.
A lot of people that, you know, you can't afford to be in a wreck. You know, you still have time.
Hooters partnered with Chase Elliott this year and feel he's destined to be one of the next stars of the sport. Earlier today, they celebrated him and his great season when he visited some fans and friends of Hooters in their suite at the track. And now, currently, Chase Elliott, after the pit stop, running in the 7th position.
Spots back, you'll find the 24 of Chase Elliott. Now, while this race has been pretty tame so far, crew chief Alan Gustafson said this end could look a lot like Martinsville. He expects it to get very aggressive, and if it does, he wants Chase to have a take no prisoners type attitude. He said, I think 99% of the time it's the aggressor who comes away with the better position. He wants to see his driver get aggressive today, Parker.
Chase Elliott in the 24 running in the 8th position just a couple laps ago had a little bit of a moment right here. We see him underneath the 31 of Ryan Newman, who is kind of looking underneath Danica Patrick, I think that is, and he turns left. Look at tire smokes a little bit. Big slide into the corner.
And remember, the spotters are directly in front of them right now, so they probably can't clear the 24 or the 31 on each other. Spotters coming directly, or the cars come directly at the spotters as they go down the front stretch and into turn number 1. Lose any positions.
Still 18 cars on the lead lap, so if you have a...
Keeping that momentum and trying to pin the 11 down on the racetrack. Remember, the 24 and 11, they've had a little bad blood the last couple races.
Now, if you're Chase Elliott in that 24 car, a chance to win the championship is in your front windshield. It's right there, and Matt Kenseth try to find a way to get by him. Last time we saw this 24 win was when Jeff Gordon won, and Martinsville sent him with a chance to win a championship to Miami.
And we'll see if it can happen for Chase Elliott. Green flags back in the air. Denny Hamlin all the way down, cutting the corner, trying to get by the 2. He does. He clears the 24, of Chase Elliott. Now Chase Elliott puts the bumper to the back of the 11. What would Chase Elliott do? Is he going to run the 11 up the racetrack to try to take the position back?
I think he's giving him 2 warning shots that, listen, 3 spots up there is my ticket. I'm going to do whatever it takes. These are 2 little shots to let you know I'm going to try to come by.
Remember the situations. They're different here. Chase Elliott has to win. Denny Hamlin doesn't have to win. He's got to beat that 2 car.
Yeah, this position is more important to Chase Elliott.
That's right.
Denny Hamlin might have to consider just conceding if he continues to put the pressure on.
The problem is Keselowski's not that far behind. He's in 7th.
Denny Hamlin has told through his driving actions what he's willing to do to get by a car, and Chase Elliott knows exactly what that is. Chase Elliott could return the favor. Once again, closing in on the 11. Chase Elliott all over the back bumper of Denny Hamlin. Both getting in the gas about the same time. over 130 miles an hour as they enter turn 3, and bumper goes to the back of the 11 again.
Way up the racetrack.
Oh, into the wall goes the 11. The 24. Pinched the 11 into the wall. You heard the crowd, and now tire smoke coming out of the 11.
The left rear rub, it looks like. Not bad.
The fans letting them know what they think about that move. Chase Elliott racing the 11 aggressively. Now the 11 has to worry about, can he stay in front of the 2? It was a couple races back at Martinsville. Denny Hamlin got into the back of the 24, spun him around, and took his chances of a win right away from him. Now Chase Elliott has put the 11 up into the wall. Here at Phoenix, Elliott trying to get up front. This was coming off of 4. Just a kiss, but it was enough to give the 11 a little to worry about, as we saw some tire smoke just after, but now it seems to have dissipated.
You just have to wonder how much damage was done to that left rear tire, and sometimes you can have that little bit of a rub and it not smoke a lot. I don't see a lot of smoke.
Bigger concern for Denny Hamlin might be that he's unable to hold these cars off. We see Erik Jones get by, now under attack from Ryan Newman. The next car back is Brad Keselowski.
Well, the 11 car got in the wall also. Yes. The 24 car was in the left rear quarter panel, but the right rear of the car of Denny Hamlin's was in the wall. So some damage could have been happened here, more than just that left rear. And obviously the car is nowhere near as good right now as it's been all day.
Now, Jeff, if you're Brad Keselowski, this is the first time all day under green flag that you can even see the 11. He's been up there leading. Now it becomes real. Now you think this may be possible.
38 laps to go. A long way until the checkered flag. Chase Elliott currently running 3rd. Kenseth has a 2.5 second lead over Chase Elliott. A 7/10 of a second lead over Martin Truex Jr. And there went the tire. The 11 goes into the wall.
Some guys, you okay, Denny? Keep it up there. Keep it up there.
And as we saw earlier with the 48s of Jimmy Johnson, that could be the championship hopes going up in smoke for Denny Hamlin. The right side of that car crushed.
Range of emotions right now going through Denny Hamlin's mind. Great car all day. Chase Elliott had contact. You know he's angry, he's disappointed.
There will be frustrations. And coming to pit road, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Kelly.
Yeah, and once again, Rodney Childers opting to do the opposite of what the leaders did on track. So they came to pit road, and it looks like, once again, they're going to make a 4-tire change, Dave.
More tires and fuel for the 18 of Kyle Busch. He'll come to pit road with this opportunity. And Denny Hamlin is going to come to pit road as well, Marty.
4 tires for Brad Keselowski. Paul Wolfe made that call to bring him here to pit road. The car much better after they made that Packer change in that left front. Going to see if these tires help out the 2s. Now the window is open for him to make it to Miami with a shot to win the title, Rick.
As long as the 24 doesn't get up there and win the race, you see Denny Hamlin has climbed out of his car. So Denny Hamlin will have to jump in the back of the ambulance, go to the infield care center to be checked out. But that ends Denny Hamlin's chances at a championship in 2017. And it came at the hands of racing against the 24 of Chase Elliott.
Led 193 laps. Looked to have just such a dominant car. Collecting all of those stage points, gaining the ground on Brad Keselowski that he needed to gain, was in position to advance on points and points alone. But with this issue for Denny Hamlin, the 2 of Brad Keselowski came to pit road and got tires with 35 laps to go.
Hood up, it'll go on the hook and go back into the garage. But take a look at where this came from.
Yeah, look how high up the racetrack they are. And, you know, 24 car and run way up the racetrack, got into the back of the 11 and, you know, came off the corner and, you know, just didn't give the 11 any room. And obviously he feels like it was warranted from what happened in Martinsville.
And then goes down in the corner. You see right here, the left front tire flat. Nothing the 11's going to do. Pretty solid contact with that safer barrier.
Jeff, as a driver, are you calling it hard racing between the 24 and the 11? Because that's what I saw as far as the build-up to that last turn. It wasn't just that last turn. We saw the 24 all over the back bumper of the 11.
Listen, this is about Martinsville. That's what this is about. Chase Elliott ran him very hard. You know, was in the back of him many times. We saw that. We don't see Chase Elliott racing like that very often. And this is Chase Elliott saying, hey, look, you took away an opportunity for me to get in the championship. I have an opportunity right now. You're in my way, and if I have to use you to get there, I'm going to use you. That was the decision that he made, was willing. I don't think he meant to wreck him. He just said, you know what, I'm going to run you up the racetrack and do what I got to do to get the position. And this is all about Martinsville. And the chance to win a championship.
That's right.
The reason Martinsville was so big to Chase Elliott was because he had an opportunity to win a championship taken away from him. That's the way he felt about it.
Now it's Chase Elliott closing in on the back bumper of the 20 of Matt Kenseth. Elliott knows his opportunity to stay in the championship hunt is to win this race. Going by the 20, Chase Elliott out in front at Phoenix. Chase Elliott, as the leader of the race, now inside the championship 4. 28 laps to go. He's been close so many times this year. 6 second-place finishes. Has been in position to win races. Can he finish it today? Chase Elliott out in front with the lead. He's able to continue on and win the race. He makes the championship 4. You're watching the Can-Am 500 from Phoenix Raceway as Chase Elliott is now 19 laps away from his first win in the Monster Energy Cup Series. He has an 0.8 of a second lead over Matt Kenseth.
It's not all smooth sailing, though. We caught this video a little bit ago. Look at this debris on the front straightaway. Looks like a piece of metal. Chase Elliott runs over it with the right side tires.
And you have to think about the last time Chase Elliott was on pit road, lap 231. He'll have to put 81 laps on these tires. I know a lot were under caution, but that's still more than anyone has run on a set of tires. And the most recent caution coming out, we saw the 11 of Denny Hamlin have an issue, and Dave caught up with it.
Denny steps out of the infield care center now under his own power. Denny, how would you describe the way that you were raced by Chase?
Well, we had a fast car all day. We did essentially our job all day long. We put ourselves in good position. Things just didn't work out there at the end.
You apologized after Martinsville, Denny. Were you hoping that would prevent something like the racing out here the way it was today?
I mean, you know, each person has their own opinion of how they do things, and it just proves to the people that thought I was a bad guy that, you know, he would do the exact same thing under the same circumstances. So, I mean, you know, it's part of racing. It's, you know, I got into him, and he chose to retaliate, and so I'm in the garage, and, you know, that's the way it is. So, you know, we had a great job. We did a great job all day. I mean, this is the best car I've had in a very long time. We just got behind on pit stop, and then that just gave those guys an opportunity to get close.
You won't get to race for the championship next week. Will you put some of that on yourself for Martinsville, Denny?
Not really. You know, no, I won't. But, you know, we'll do the best we can to go out there and win Homestead and make sure our competition doesn't.
Glad you're okay. Denny, done for the day, done for the championship.
Guys, we got to move here for the lead.
Right on the back bumper of the 24. Kenseth, is he going to move him out of the way?
Matt Kenseth has run him down. That last corner off turn 2. I mean, Kenseth was way quicker.
Under 11 laps to go. There have been some disappointing second place finishes for Chase Elliott. this may top the list if the 20 is able to get by. Now the 24 dives down below the yellow line, trying to find the fastest way around Phoenix. 10 laps of racing to go.
This isn't about playoffs. This isn't about teammates. This is about Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth's career. He doesn't know if it will continue. He said that, so he makes a move to the 24.
Here comes to the inside, the 20 of Kenseth. He's going to dive down to the dog leg to try to make the pass. Going into 3. If he takes the lead away from the 24, the 2 will then be in the favored seat for the championship 4. Matt Kenseth in front now at Phoenix.
Steve, do you think there was an opportunity for this 24 car to put a little bit of air pressure on those tires to try to get a launch, to get a good restart and hope for a lot of cautions, and now he's paying the price for that on a long run?
Well, there absolutely is. I mean, think about it. The 24 wasn't in the conversation until this set of tires. So whatever adjustments they made were spectacular because it gave him the shot, but they're just not holding on like apparently they had hoped. Marty.
The 24 of Chase Elliott, now 0.8 of a second behind Matt Kenseth. Kenseth fighting for a win. He's been fighting all season. The announcement was made that he would not be back with Joe Gibbs Racing in 2018. He started searching, looking for another opportunity, another ride. None materialized. And now all of a sudden, Matt Kenseth in a position to win at Phoenix.
You said it, Jeff. You said that Matt Kenseth could still get it done in the right opportunity with the right car, and with 3 laps to go, that's what he's trying to do here at Phoenix.
And you just heard Roger Penske. Great job.
Classic, baby, classic.
Chase Elliott came up, bumped the back of the 20, letting him know congratulations. And once again, Chase Elliott, a second-place finish.
Look at the number of drivers showing Matt Kenseth the respect, the appreciation for what Matt Kenseth has done in this sport, the appreciation for how good he still is. You're telling me this guy doesn't have a ride next year? It's ridiculous.
From the incredible emotions for winning the race, so I'm sure very disappointing for finishing second, Kelly.
Yeah, for Chase Elliott, who comes up just short once again. And Chase, you've had some gut-wrenching losses in the past. I imagine this one's got to hurt a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. That's such a bummer. We were so close to having another shot next week. But, man, I can't say enough for my team and our Hooters Chevrolet this weekend. We fought really, really hard today and gave ourselves a chance. Our car was really fast on those short runs after a caution and after guys had put cycles on tires, and it fired off really good, and we've been pretty good on the short run all day and got really tight as the run went along. And once the rubber laid back down, I was just hanging on and hoping I could get to traffic before I started going away. But man, that is such a bummer. I was telling my guys we'll get it right someday, or I'll get it right someday. We've had so many good opportunities, and at some point we just got to close.
Chase, we saw a lot of hard racing between you and Denny Hamlin there for that position. Were you thinking of Martinsville in that moment?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm going to race guys how they race me and keep a smile on my face regardless. So happy to race guys how they choose to race me, and it's the way I see it.
All right, Chase Elliott finished this one second, 1 spot short of the championship 4.
I think that's it, right? That's the rule. Like, don't go looking for a fight, but if the fight comes to me, I'm going to fight back. And I'm going to race each individual driver as they race me. That's an old school rule, and that's what you just heard.
Yeah, and I agree with you. He didn't go in there and try to hit him, but he didn't give him an inch. Took every inch from the 11, ended up flattening his tire.
And here's a champion move right here. As Matt Kenseth, after winning the race, Alan Kulwicki did it when he won here in Phoenix. And Matt Kenseth's going to do it now as he went by the grandstands and able to wave to all the fans, say thank you for their support throughout the years, and we saw how emotional it was. Matt Kenseth getting a win, the second to last race of his career.